All right, so remember we just said we there in every shape there's face, base, vertices, and edges, and the way we cut out our shapes will determine what they are. All of these are faces, but the outer edges are normally going to be your base. Um, so here, a net is a two-dimensional or a 2D representation of a three-dimensional figure. When a net is folded, it creates a 3D figure. The surface area is the outside covering of the 3D. It can be found by calculating the composite area of the net. So if you are really good at composite figures, this is going to be a breeze for you. If you struggle, this is going to give you more practice to get really great at it. So again, all it was saying is that the net, this is a net, is a 2D representation of the 3D figure. So if I was to take it from being just 2D, which is just a flat paper, and if I fold it up and create a rectangular prism, then I have created a 3D shape from the net. And to find the area of this prism, I'm going to use the net and use composite figures, which means I will find the area of each space, each shape, and add them all together. So what is, because that means to just add. So prism versus pyramid. Prisms are 3D figures that have two parallel bases and rectangular sides. The base usually stick out from the net. So this is a prism. The base sticks out from the side. They're parallel of each other, so they're right across from each other. And we know that the rest of this will be just rectangles. Pyramids are 3D figures that have one base, like this here, and triangular sides, like this has 4 triangular sides. The base is usually in the center, like here. In the middle is the base of the net. We're going to label the shapes below as prisms or pyramids. So we know that this is a rectangular prism. We know this is a triangular pyramid. Right here is a rectangular pyramid. And this is a triangular prism. So even looking at the nets, we can tell distinctively the difference between a pyramid, and a prism. So now that we have named them, we're going to identify them here. So we know, again, we said this was a rectangular prism. So we're going to shade the base of each shape. So go ahead and let's start shading the base. So here for this shape, if I know my base are located on the sides, that means that these also are the base here. And if I wasn't sure of that, I can use my rectangular prism and I can form it to look just like the box that's there to see how is it sitting. So I can identify where will my base be and everything like that. And so here is a triangular pyramid. We should have a triangular pyramid. Yeah, we do. And so here's your triangular pyramid here. And so remember, the base is always in the center. So even here, it's also going to be in the center. And while we're doing that, let's also put the formula, because these are our notes of what would I use to find the area of this shape. So because this is a rectangular prism, each one of these, I would just use area equals base times height. Because this is a triangular pyramid, each one of these are triangles. So I know my area will be base times height divided by 2. And then here at 3, this is a rectangular pyramid. So my base is in the middle. So my base is also in the middle here. And so because this shape has a triangle, 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 and then a rectangle. So I know for my triangles, I will use base times height divided by 2. And for my rectangle, I will use just area is equal to base times height. This is a triangular prism. So when we identify our base, it's going to be a top and bottom. So that means the top and bottom will also be it for there. So again, this is triangle, triangle. So I know I use A equals base times height divided by 2. And this is rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. So I know I'm just going to use base times height. When we're done with that, we're going to flip it over. Ivy, do you need a seat in the front? Okay. I'd rather you tell me that and just move, okay? So we'll, like, you can move now, but we'll permanently get you a front seat. All right. Are we all good with that? Do we all have that written down? Okay. So when we turn it over, we're going to be practicing that. All it's asking us to do is identify what shape and draw the picture and put the labels onto the picture. So you don't have to be the best artist, but you're going to just do your very best to be able to do this. So again, if we look here, even if we look at our own shapes, we can say that it has to be this shape because it looks very close to it. And so even if I was to line mine up to know what it looks like, to line it up like that, then I know that this is a prism. And it's not any prism, but it's a rectangular.
Miss Andrew, is not this one? Not this one? It's more skinny.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It's still a rectangular prism, but it's really called a cube or a square prism. Yeah, it's a cube. My apologies. Thank you.
It's a cube prism.
It's not a cube prism. It's in the family of a rectangular prism, but what we would call it, thank you for identifying that, is that it is a square prism or a cube because everything is the same measurements. So thank you for that. Right. I didn't even pay attention to that. So because it's just like that, we can, if you can't visually know what a cube look like, fold your shape and so that you can, and then draw it. Now, y'all don't be trusting my drawing. Y'all know it's gonna be real interesting. But when we form it, we see that it does form a cube. And so, that's as good as that's gonna get. And then we're gonna write it's 3.5. They said the top was 3.5, so 3.5, 3.5, and then 3.5. I just drew two squares and then connected them. Yep. Just do your best. Again, it doesn't matter. All right, so now they give you this shape, which is a triangular prism, and now you have to draw the net of a triangular prism. And again, if you're not sure, you have everything you need out of the shapes that you cut out. So you can line them up or you can form them and see which one actually will get me that shape. So which one will we use for that?
The first one.
Right, awesome. So it would look like this. Because it has the two bases, which are triangles on the outside, and then it has the three rectangles, which are the sides. So here's a rectangle, there's a rectangle, and the bottom is a rectangle. So that makes sense that I have three rectangles and two bases. Here's a base, here's a base. So the purpose of this exercise is so you can get used to seeing the shape and then can visualize what the net will be for that shape. So when you're drawing it, you can draw it however you want. And so it shows me here that 8 is the height of one of the base. So I'm going to put my dots here and I'm going to say 8. And then it shows me 12 is the side of a rectangle. So I'm going to say 12. And then it says one of the sides of the base is 6. So I know this is 6. So do you see how we did that? We can look here and put the numbers exactly where they will be on the shape. So I saw that the one of the rectangle sides is 12. So I put a 12 here. I see that one of the sides of the base is 6. So I'm going to go ahead and make that 6. And then the height of the base is 8. So I'm going to make my height of one of my base 8. And we said that this was a triangular prism. So please go ahead and do the other 3 on your own.